Maryam, you don't believe in arranged marriages. So how did you react when your mother said she'd found you someone? Take us through that story.
Well, actually, she's very smart. She asked me when I was really tired. I just got back from buying food for the family, and I was really tired. So she asked me in front of my dad. So she was very smart. I didn't have a chance to say no. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Can you show me his picture, please? I said yes first, and then only I asked to see his picture. And after that, he texted me. He texted me. Right?
I texted you.
He texted me after that, and then just for one night, and the whole week he didn't like text me at all.
Playing hard
So I
to
was like,
get. I like that.
yeah, I was like, dude, you said you want to marry me. Come on, make some move, you know.
Wow.
Apparently, that was his move.
Yep. Everybody's got game.
Okay, so exactly the game of not talking was what game was that one?
Exactly.
Make her want it.
Right. Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
It worked.
Thank God you're married.
Yeah.
All right.
So okay, but what exactly did your mom say to you though when she'd actually found somebody? Was this a conversation that she'd brought up before, so you kind of knew she was already looking for someone, or was this just out of the blue, like, darling, I've found a husband for you? Oh, okay, mom.
I'll be right back after I wash the laundry.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's been going on since I was like 18 or 19 because I'm a sharifah. So Sharifah and Syed, the parents would usually want us to end up marrying each other. The sharifahs and Syeds.
I heard of this thing before.
Yeah.
So what's the story with that though, actually?
Yeah, break it down for us.
Yeah, it's back to our inheritance and cultural beliefs. All the males in our families are Syeds, and all the females are Sharifahs. But of course, there are times where Syeds would marry non-Sharifahs and
Sharifahs will marry non-Syeds. It's not a sin if you don't end up marrying someone from the same culture, but
family preference.
Yeah, family preference. Honestly.
So it's ideal that you do, but it's not like against the law to not marry.
No, it's not. It's not
Right.
against the law. So it's totally up to you, honestly.
Okay, so your mom told you, I found you a side. Is that how it works?
No, more specifically, like, a side wants to get to know you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe he thinks I'm pretty or something, but apparently he was just following his mom's setup also.
I see. So both of you were.
Yeah, because on our first date, we honestly went on our first date for the sake of our moms. We didn't like go on our first date because we liked each other.
No, just to be nice to our parents.
Yeah, so we did that.
Lucky you two liked your parents enough to kind of go through that
Like your
torture,
parents.
only to find it work out for you guys. Anyway, Nasir, did you believe in arranged marriages before? Like, how did your mom convince you?
Growing up, I did not believe in arranged marriages. I believe in finding the right one for you, finding your right partner. And honestly, I didn't mind if I didn't meet a non-Sharifa or what. But after, when I grew older, I succumbed to it, and then whoever, not even my mom or my sister, but a lot of my aunties were trying to set me up. But they weren't Maryam.
No. Yeah, he's had plenty of Sharifahs that wanted to marry him, but he chose me.
Oh,
wait, so there were other options available, but
For him.
So
For him,
Nasir,
yes.
you were open to this, the idea of arranged marriage and Sharifahs being found for you prior to Maryam. Like, Maryam was not your first.
Yeah.
okay, right.
But she will be your last, otherwise you might get hurt.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
If you're gonna live through this conversation, you will say yes.
Yes.
I'm breaking a sweat.
Okay, so Maryam, in the end you agreed to your mum setting you two up. Okay. And this happened sort of off the back of you coming out of a relationship that kind of went bust. Did you
Yeah,
think
it
that
did.
you were going to marry your your ex?
Yeah, we were engaged actually, and he called off the wedding about 3 months before the wedding, and during MCO, last year's MCO, and
Gosh.
also right after my surgery. So that's a huge red flag. But he ended it. I didn't end it.
Sounds like you
Um,
dodged a bullet, girlfriend.
oh, I did. I seriously did.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I thank God so much. It doesn't matter if I ended up marrying someone else or not, but
Mm.
getting out of the relationship really helped me in so many ways. Yeah.
Now, most people who would have gone through quite sort of I say traumatic in the sense that this was pretty abrupt for you and you
Yes.
were sort of just come around from surgery as well, situation would be kind of anti-marriage, regardless of whether it was arranged or not. Where were you? What was your stance? What were you thinking at that point?
I love love. That's who I am. I love love. So I believe in love. I've always believed in love. So after the engagement got called off, I thought, I'm not gonna marry anyone ever again. But that only lasted for like a week or two because I didn't want to lose myself. So I talked to myself and said, like, you should not let one person determine your future. So only I can determine my future. So that's why I never gave up.
I
Yeah, but
love
I
it.
wasn't looking. I
Mm.
wasn't looking, but
No,
my
your mom
mom
was. That's quite
was.
clear.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
very
mom went
clear.
shopping for you.
Yeah, I didn't even have to do anything.
She already added to the cart.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really I have to ask this though. Because you didn't want to lose yourself, you wanted because you believed in love and everything, and then you wanted to kind of marriage was like it's important to you, right? So
Yeah.
how do I ask this without sounding horrible?
Go ask it.
Just ask it.
Did you settle because you wanted to get
No.
married?
Well, for my exes, I settled, but not for him.
Nasir's like,
Let's see. No, I did not settle for him, and both of us actually didn't settle for each other. We had a conversation about this because he has gone through bad breakups as well, bad relationships, and I have gone through it too. So, like from the very beginning, we established that we're not settling for each other. Like if there's anything that you don't like about me, call me out. Like we are supposed to help each other become better people. So.
Right. Okay. Just wondering. Just wondering. Had to put it out there.
Actually,
so
that's the question that we kept on asking each other in the beginning of our
right.
relationship. Do you settle? Do you settle?
That's very interesting. Okay, so you had that awareness. But okay, so Nasir was saying that he had a lot of prospects of possible sharifas and possibly non-sharifas out there waiting for him. Um, and your mom, Maryam, was sort of shopping around and sort of, engineering a marriage behind your back as well. Did
Yeah.
you have other prospects as well? Did both of you, were you kind of vetting various people before you decided actually that chick that I went to go and see, she's the one? How did that
You
work?
answer first.
Okay, here's my bit. At the time when my mom forwarded Mariam's details, I had three other sharifas to
I thought it was two.
read.
Oh,
One was
Really?
introduced by my sister, by my aunties, and at that point of time, I was not in the mood, or I was not because I've met and I've tried, but it's not, there weren't good fits.
Mhm.
So and I was at the point of my life of a huge career change, and this is the last thing I needed. But
mm-mm.
because it's my mother, with all due respect, okay, for my mom, I will give it a shot. So I initiated, and bada bing, bada boom, we're
Married.
yeah.
So for me, I was talking to a few other guys, but no one lived up to my potential. Like they weren't on the same level as I am. So until I met him, so I was really not interested.
Were
Actually,
there?
in the beginning, I was not interested in him until after our second date. And he went to Johor. It was Raya Haji, and I missed him. And I don't really miss people that I don't like, you know. So I called him and asked him. The first question, I didn't even say hello. I asked him, "Tidur ke?" With like very like angry voice, but it wasn't. I just really missed him, but you know, he didn't reply to my text because he was busy with his family. But then somehow when he came back, we went on our third date, and you know, it worked.
That must
And
have
then
been
we
some second date, man.
Yeah.
it involved Japanese food, particularly sashimi. So yeah,
Did you
that worked.
know, Mariam? Is that your thing that you like Japanese food?
I was craving for sashimi.
All right,
Like I
so
was craving like crazy, and he brought me to Zanmai.
right,
So I was like,
Nice.
oh,
okay.
you
The
know.
Okay,
man after,
so
yeah,
so you had a wonderful second date, and he got you craving for him after that, after your sushi craving was satiated. What about you, Nasir? Like, how were you feeling after that second date?
I already liked her from the first date. I already thought that she was cool. Um, well, number one, she had good English. Um, and number
Nice.
two, she's really smart and hilarious. So she was ticking all the boxes, but I wanted to see more. But she cut our first date short. But
Yeah.
I,
But
ooh,
okay, imagine this. Like after your first date, and this stranger says, "I wish I could kidnap you to go to Genting."
Yeah, I would leave.
you said
I would
what?
leave.
You said what?
I mean, you know, I wanted to be adventurous.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Which the wires of any young men out there who might be listening to this, that may not be the right thing to say on your first, you know, or
No,
first year of
Right.
knowing somebody, maybe.
But well,
exactly.
thank God you said no then.
Yeah, because I don't think I would have been able to keep the conversations any longer.
Right.
Yeah, me, it's Genting.
All right. So you guys have been married for how long now? 3 months?
Almost three
Yeah.
months. Almost
Almost
three
three
months.
months. So what have been the biggest challenges that the both of you have had to deal with?
Uh, with one another, I think it's because we're newlywed, so there's nothing much there. But this whole pandemic is really causing us a lot of stress because we've never even gone to the cinemas together.
No.
No, not even the
Right.
cinemas, no arcades, you know, like a cute date, never. It's just,
Forget about
Stuck at
honeymoon.
home. Yeah.
oh yeah, our honeymoon actually we had fun. We went hotel
Hotel.
hopping in KL. Yeah, we
I
went from
suppose
this
it's
hotel to that hotel to this hotel. So it was nice.
okay. So how many days in a row did you hotel hop?
14?
Yeah, 2 weeks
Yeah,
straight.
2 weeks. For
Two
two
weeks.
weeks.
Okay.
So right after we got married, we went to Hyatt and then a few other hotels, and then we rented Airbnb for the whole week. So that was fun.
Oh, okay. So that they sort of had a staycation thing happening for that. Um, so since you've gotten back, I mean, you guys have been tested under quite much more strenuous circumstances, wouldn't you say? Because people have been married a long time, being stuck together, they're ready to sort of
Yeah, yeah.
commit some sort of crime against their partner, right? um, uh, but you guys, you're fed pretty well. Is that because you do think you don't know each other at all? So this is a time that you've
Mm,
spent getting to know each other.
yeah, it's it's we have not had like a major problem or anything, but it's adjusting with one another that's pretty hard because he's always lived in his room alone and I've always lived in my room alone. So, you know, we're not used to having someone else in the room. But
Right.
for me, I lived in the college last time in UM.
Mhm.
So I had roommates before this and he never. So it's like we have to keep on understanding each other. That's the one thing that we have not reached yet. The understanding up to that level, like you look at me and I automatically understand what you're saying. We
Mm.
haven't reached. Don't look at me. And then and then what about you?
I can't read your mind. But yeah, no, we're still
You never
adapting
will,
to
Nasir. Sorry.
uh we're still adapting to each other's
Yeah.
behaviors and likes and dislikes. I mean, we just met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
So
lifestyle. I mean, because basically moving in and living with someone else, it's a new experience, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely. The first month was pretty hard because um we were really tired, and we were so busy with work, and we were busy like like post wedding planning. So we were very, very tired that we didn't even have much time to spend with each other, even though we were right next to each other.
Right.
Because at night we want the me time, because we always give each other some me time, but we took it a little bit too much of the me time, So after a while we talked, and like, oh, I miss you, but we're right here with each other. Why don't we just start talking to each other again? Because maybe before this we felt a bit awkward that there's someone else,
Yep.
So
So, but no arguments yet? Nothing at all? Really?
mesti lah ada.
Of course not.
Of course, but it's small ones. It's the ones that you can get through by communicating with each other, I think.
Yeah.
The ones about toothpaste and who gets the
Yeah,
drawer,
right.
the bottom drawer.
Oh, we
yeah.
actually bought 2 toothpaste to avoid arguments like that.
See, that's smart. I did the same thing with my son. It's like, yeah, you have your own stuff. You can mess it up. I don't care how messy it is. Just don't touch mine.
Exactly. Because I always push the toothpaste from the very end. He pushes it from the middle. So I say, okay.
I think that's a guy thing. It's like
No,
it's like a
not a guy.
Neanderthal, like squeeze the tube and anyway. So going back to sort of like your sort of wiggle room period of kind of just getting used to each other in a small space, right? How difficult was it to trust somebody you didn't know well and even learn to be intimate with each other? Because I can imagine that you didn't have the kind of courting period that maybe other couples did. So how was that for you?
How do you trust me?
Let's see. I don't know. It's just it just comes out naturally, it's something that you can't explain. You just know that you can trust this person next to you, and because we both share the same values, in terms of life, in terms of love, in terms of family, in terms of career, because we're both hustlers. We can't stand around just sitting at home all day doing nothing. We got to get things done. And yeah, I really appreciate that about her. She's definitely a go-getter. And yeah, it just comes out naturally.
Thank you. For me, I think it's because I've been through one of the most traumatic experience anyone has ever had to go through. So after that, I don't know, I just literally like prayed to God, like just send me someone that I can like love, that someone that can love me as much as I love him, and I saw that he loved me as like even more than I could love him, so last time, but now it's equal.
So basically you guys had no problem,
trust issues
Not issues really. and even sort of that first intimate embrace that you both sort of shared. It wasn't an uncomfortable, awkward moment.
Because there's love, and then
we laugh a lot.
You laughed a lot.
Because there's love, and
Yeah.
then there's love. You know what I mean?
There's both.
I think that there's no issue there whatsoever. And I wonder, Nasir, going back to what you said earlier, you talked about, you both have the same sort of values, and goals and dreams and stuff. Was this something you guys had discussed at some sort of date along the way before you even agreed to the idea of marrying each other first?
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
My first question, the first few questions I had for him on our first date, I would say it was very straightforward, like about harassment, like whose fault is it, and he automatically said that it will be automatically the harasser's fault, not the victim's. And that was like, okay, check. For me, that's the bare minimum that anyone could ever have. And one more, what was it, the question? Do you remember? No, there was another question that was very, very intriguing. So yeah, like that made me kind of sure, like, okay, he's a decent guy, at least I can converse with him. And also English also, because it's not that I'm trying to diminish like people who don't know how to speak English, but I myself speak English most of the time. So it has to be someone that also speaks English most of the time, So the communication is really important. And from the very beginning, we have been communicating from our first date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that we dislike about each other, or like the things that we think we can improve, we will talk. It's like he's my best friend also. So I think that's why it makes it easier.
No hold part.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you,
Yeah.
Nasser? Did you go with your shopping list of things to, I heard you both actually say tick that box, tick that box. So did you both have like some kind of shopping list of like prerequisites? Okay, if they all tick all the boxes, then maybe we can see.
That's me. What about you?
Mine's very short. Like, yeah, good English, smart, and pretty. What more do you want?
Oh.
Okay. So what's marriage been like then versus what you thought it would be like?
Mm,
I had no expectations whatsoever. Because uh, because of our predicament of just meeting each other, and there were no expectations. We're just going with the flow. We have our whole lives to get to know each other, and for me, I just look forward to growing old with her.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
But for me, for me, I used to see marriage as like, the husband loves the wife and the wife loves the husband just because they're married, not because they're in love.
Mhm.
But recently I asked him, wait, you love me not just because you're my husband, you love me because you love me? He was like, yeah. I said, oh, okay. So that's a positive thing, because last time I used to look at marriage as something that is, you just have to tolerate this person,
Right. So
it's
you
different.
used to think that it was, I love you because it's my job to love you because you're my wife.
Yeah, yeah,
Versus now you're experiencing, I love you because I love you and you just happen
yeah,
to be my wife.
yeah. And we always, like, for me, I always look at him as my partner first, then my husband, so it helps a lot.
Mm.
Because if not, I think the whole marriage title, it puts a lot of pressure, especially especially on women, honestly, like the stay in the kitchen kind of thing, the stereotypes that people have for women. So it was really like I was so scared of that. But I talked about it with him even before we got married. Like I told him, I'm not gonna, I don't know how to cook anything. I know how to cook some stuff, but I don't really like cooking. I like cleaning.
Mm.
So we talked about it even before we got married. So he said, yeah, it's okay. I don't know how to cook too. I said, okay, cool.
That's all.
Yeah, but there's
Awesome.
something about when people think about marriage and stuff like this, and then there's romance and stuff like this, and then you need the, like, when you watch American TV shows, especially, they college, they've known each other, and then high school sweethearts and everything, then they get together. Do you go, I wish I had that, or I'm quite happy with how things worked out?
I'm actually really happy with how things worked out, because there's a lot of stories that we don't know because we just met. So this is the time that, like even after 5 years, I believe there are some stories that he will tell me and I don't know yet, and vice versa.
Mm.
So I feel like, oh, okay, that's cute. Like I don't wish I grew up with him, because I'm not the kind of a person who gets together with my friends. So what about you?
Now, going back to what JD said, we're both the romantics.
Yeah, that's true.
We love romance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, okay. He actually proposed to me at Desa Park City, like a whole like balloons and banner. Will you marry
Nice.
me? And
Oh, smooth,
yeah,
Nasir. Very smooth.
exactly.
Thank you.
So how can I not love him?
And it's really hard to surprise her because
She's so nosy.
she's a Virgo, so she wants to know everything, what's
Right.
Yeah,
going on.
I'm a
Mm.
planner.
Yeah,
So like the whole week, because it was my birthday week. It was my birthday.
yeah.
It was my birthday. Then the whole week I was like, where are we going? Are we going to this place? Are we going to that place? Wait, where are you taking me? Like it was constantly like that, and I don't know
Annoying
how he put
little
up with it.
chihuahua.
If
Yep.
I were him, I'd be like, yo, cancel the plan, guys. She's asking too much.
Can you imagine if she was like, so now if it's going to be a surprise proposal, it needs to be like this, and you can't tell me, So I'm like, what is going on here? But nice to know that you guys are romantics, and it's like having it's like dating, but you just happen to be married to each other.
Yeah. I mean, like, this always comes up, like, oh my God, our parents know we're sleeping together. So it's like, oh my God, so we're not really dating, we're married. Okay, cool.
Pinch yourself to remind yourself. Okay, so let me
Yeah.
ask this: would you suggest an arranged marriage for your kids in the future? Is that something that you've thought about that you would sort of want for them as well?
On three.
Okay, 1, 2, yes or no? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
No.
Why?
Okay. Why not?
You first.
No, we'll let them choose whoever they want to get married. I mean, we will tell them that yes, we come from a culture where it's a preference if you can find each other, but it's if you happen to find love, in the strangest places, yeah, go for it. As long as they're good for you and you're good for them, you don't harm each other, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and for me, it's all of that. Also, because I don't want them to marry for the sake of us. Like, if you want to marry someone for the sake of you and for the sake of your love, which is exactly what we did. We didn't get married to please our parents. We got married because we were in love. So I would like for our kids to have that chance, lah.
Yeah,
You know.
if that was the case, I would have got them married 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So basically, sort of the premise for your love story was this engineering of marriage, but you guys fell for each other before, outside of that. So do you think that if you'd have met each other, under different circumstances, you'd still be together as a couple?
Probably,
but I think our journey has
Probably.
been
I'm not sure.
no, our journey has been set in motion. It's like fated, every activity or every action that's happened, it led to where we are today, which is having a conversation with JD and Asha.
Okay, so here's a bit of a tough question, and I don't mean to put you on the spot with it, but do you ever think, I wish that we had had more time together without the pressure of the ultimate outcome of the marriage happening first, like more time to court, more quiet time, space to get to know each other, rather than get married, honeymoon, we're stuck together, so we've got to get to know each other anyway?
See, that's the thing. I don't feel like I'm stuck with him. It's like it's. I don't wish we. I know for me now. I don't wish that we, dated a little bit longer, or those kind of things. Because I was when I already started to like him, I knew that if both him and I would work and like try our best to make this work, we would last forever. That's on my end.
Yeah, because of everything that we both have been through in our lives. I don't regret marrying her right away.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay, let me ask you this then. Arranged marriages are a big part of Asian culture. And in some instances, it goes bad, right? So what needs to change to ensure the safety of all parties involved in an arranged marriage?
I think one of the first things that needs to be done is to change the age that for women and men, for them both to be able to get married. Because if I'm not mistaken, right now it's still 16 or 18, right. I'm not sure. But it's not fair for those that have been, really asked. And some of them even like they won't even meet their future husband or future wife until the day of their marriage.
Yes.
And that's really sad, and that can be traumatizing for either one of the couple, because it can be traumatizing for the man, can be traumatizing for the woman. So I think the best thing is if in the future, as parents, maybe we can try to understand that marriage is not a necessity for everyone. Some people don't want to get married. Some people don't believe in marriage, some people love marriage, so just let people have their own lives. I think that's the best way to put it, because it's really sad when you see this news, like being forced to get married by parents, or like by peer pressure and all those things, and ended up getting abused and all that. So that's really scary, and it's really important that we keep on talking about it, because some people are not aware of it,
Mm.
and some people are aware of it but don't want to do anything about it. So
On the topics that you kind of brought up in terms of the more extreme situations of the arranged marriage being bad from the start or going bad, what do you think needs to happen for arranged marriages to be a part of modern Asian culture that builds safety? What do you think parents who are still sort of pushing their kids or hoping their kids are going to go into arranged marriages need to really start taking on board? Would it be divorce? Would it be, if it doesn't work out, that's okay? Like, what do you think should be sort of added in place for safety?
We live in different times, and parents should understand that. That present generations, that they're not even thinking about getting married. We prefer to live life first, explore many things before settling down. And even so, it shouldn't be forced upon. And I don't have the exact statistics, but yeah, um, a lot of situations do end up in the divorce courts. It's something that we just uh, maintain educating everyone that people have choices. As a human being, you shouldn't be um, limiting yourself to uh, a tradition. No, that's
the culture.
culture. I don't know. It's a different time now. It's uh, we live in a world where um, fr- you should have your own freedom in your choices.
Yeah, and to get back to Aisha's question, like about divorce, it's very hard in Asia to even bring up the topic of divorce, but maybe it should be talked about more often, because divorce is not something bad when the marriage is bad, and it's really saddening, like to see some couples would rather stay married just because they don't want to get divorced, but
Stigma.
stigma, yeah, social stigma, and it's really sad. But what parents can do, I think, is just have faith in your kids. Like, if it's meant to be, and if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe and how it works, just believe that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and if it's not, you're not supposed to force it to happen. And I think that's just it. But there's no perfect parents in the world, but this could help your children, I think.